word of Elohim to you like a long, cool drink of water, or a torrential downpour that is threatened to wipe you out, drown you, flood you? Hi, this is Barry Phillips, the 10-Minute Torah, day number 2, the Torah portion, Ha'azinu, which means give ear. It's time to listen. Let's go to Deuteronomy, chapter number 32, and read verse 2. Moshe says, "Let my instruction fall as rain, my speech drop as dew, as fine rain on the tender plants, and as showers on the grass." Rabbinical understanding here is that when instruction, and the word instruction here, lakak, it gives the idea of knowledge, of learning. Another term that would be used would be doctrine. We don't hear a lot of doctrine anymore. We're looking for golden nuggets and inspiring insights, ooh and ah clues to the word. But doctrine is what's going to give us sustenance, that is going to give us a solid place to stand. You need to know what you believe. And again, Moshe is not sharing an opinion here. These are not his thoughts. The doctrine that he has received from Yah himself on the mountain and in the tent of meeting. So he is speaking verbatim the word of Elohim to Am Israel, to the people of Israel. He is saying, let it fall upon you like dew. Let it be upon you like showers. The understanding is that those who have a small capacity to receive the understanding of doctrine, their learning is not substantial yet, their foundation is not completely built yet. They're still in the early stages of learning. And hey, if that's where you're at, that's where you're at. And no one is speaking down to you. I encourage you, keep studying, keep learning. We've been at this for over 20 years now, and we're still learning. But the understanding is that if you are yet building your foundation and just getting started, then the word needs to come to you like dew laying on the grass, soft, easy, that doesn't interrupt. It's not inconvenient for you. For those that have a longer term of study, their foundation is built, they're able to handle the more critical matters of the word, the more decisive blows of the word against the work of the flesh. It comes upon us like showers. Now there's such thing as a gentle rain, and we desire that, we look for that. Those of us who garden, you want the gentle showers to come, a long soaking rain that gets deep into the ground. There are at times those showers that come hard, fierce, wind-driven. Instead of soaking into the ground, more often than not, they just erode a top layer and they wash away. Sometimes we need some things washed away. Sometimes we need to be a little bit wind-driven. But it's the plants and the trees, the vegetation that has endured the hard winds and storms, whose roots go deepest into the ground in response, and therefore they're more well-grounded. Those of you that have gone through storms, you persevered, you've overcome. The word has given you a grounding. And you've learned to trust in the value of word. It's not a golden nugget insight that got you through that. It was the doctrine of what you knew to be true that was tested, time proven. You are storm hardened. Your roots are deep. So some shallow, insignificant event is not going to cause you to lose faith, to turn around and just throw up your hands in the air and say, I quit. You've come too far. You've gone through too much. And we're not quitting now. The word is water. In Scripture, the word is likened often to water. And Israel's water events tell us some things about the word. If we go over to the book of Shemot, or Exodus chapter 15, let's look at verse number 22, if I can get back there. Moshe brought Israel from the Sea of Reeds, and they went out into the wilderness of Shur. And they went 3 days in the wilderness. They found no water. So they came to a place called Marah, where there were waters, but they were bitter and they couldn't be easily ingested. The people complained about the taste. Moshe complained to Yah. Yah showed him a tree. The tree was thrown into the waters, and the waters became sweet. And the thing is that the people began to grumble. In response to this episode of bitter waters being made sweet, Yah's instructions to the people regarded his word, not drinking water. In verse 26, he said, if you diligently obey the voice of Yahweh your Elohim and do what is right in his eyes, and shall listen to his commands, and shall guard all of his laws, I shall bring on you none of the diseases I brought on the Mitzrites or the Egyptians, for I am Yahweh who heals you. There are times that the word leaves a bitter taste in our mouth because it is correcting us. But the bitter correction brings about also a sense of sweetness when a tree in the Hebrew mindset is representative of a Tzaddik. Tzaddik, Tzaddik. A Tzaddik is one who is well-grounded and walks in a high level of righteousness. Yeshua is the ultimate Tzaddik. When the revelation of Yeshua is brought into our bitter circumstances, then they can be turned sweet. But the admonition here is, now listen to him and do what he says. Do his laws, do his commands. If you turn the page predominantly in most of your translations and go to Shemot or Exodus chapter 17, we again have a water issue. And they come to a place called Rephidim, and there's no water for the people to drink. Moshe has to go to Mount Horeb and strike the rock, and so that waters can come out. It says here in verse number 7 that at the place where they strove with Yahweh and with Moshe, they cried out, is Yahweh in our midst or not? Again, there is an issue of the word. Do we believe that Yah is true to his word and that he is with us or not? In last week's Torah portion, he said, I am with you. I will not fail you. I will not forsake you. I will not leave you. Do we believe that or not? And so again, it was a water issue. The problem is that after they cried out with such a heart, then their adversary, Amalek is rooted in Esau, the brother of Yaakov or Jacob, and it is akin to the word doubt. And so doubt and unbelief of the word brings about a lack of word or understanding or doctrine. Our doctrine gets confused, and then we wonder, where are you at, Yah? Aren't you true to your word? In the book of Bamidbar, or Numbers, chapter number 20, Miriam, the sister of Moshe, has died. And then the water dries up. The rabbinical thought is that as long as she prophesies as a prophetess, as long as she prophesied about the rock from which the water came, identifying that rock as Messiah, that the water flowed. When she died and the prophecy didn't continue, then the water stopped. Prophecy that is genuine, that is real, confirms this word, confirms the heart and the character of Yah, reveals Messiah as Yeshua. And when the prophecies stop, when the word of Elohim stops, again we have water issues. Find it interesting that in Ephesians chapter 5 and verse number 26, we talk about Messiah and his relationship with us in order to set it apart and cleanse it with the washing of the water of the word. The word is here to quench our thirst, reveal our Messiah, establish our doctrine and right understanding, and to wash and cleanse us. Let the Word do its work today. We'll talk more tomorrow. Until then, shalom.